at the crash site where Portuguese player Diogo Jota died in a car accident. Jota and his brother died in a car crash in northwestern Spain early on Thursday.
Striker wearing the number 20 jersey. In the episode, he's called Diogo Jota.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much and good afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be here with President Macron, a firm friend to me personally.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, wherever you are listening from across the world. You are tuned into the Mr. Freemason channel, and thank you for joining me for another live. I'm your host, Mr. Freemason, and here at the channel, we like to explore numerology, astrology, occults, Freemasonry, hidden and secret knowledge, and many other hidden facts. Today is the date of the 10th of June, 2025, which gives us a 1 day and falls under the number A, which is the first letter, which stands for arrangements and agreements. It also stands for arguments. So I will just give it a few more minutes and wait for a few more people to join us, get set up, and then we will jump straight into the show. So as always, I'll give you a rundown of the numbers that we use in numerology astrology that are in the news articles and media. These are the numbers 3, 6, 9. Also the numbers 11, 13, 19, 22, 23, and last of all, 33. A couple of examples of these numbers was the Nicola Bulley case in Lancashire back in 2022, where the prominent number there was the number 23, which was on the back of the bench. And Nicola Bulley was found 23 days later. She was also found on the 19th. So there's an example of 23 and also 19 in there. You'll tend to find that criminal activities and also crashes or accidents tend to fall and happen under 3 numbers. These numbers are numbers such as 3, also 12, because 1 and 2 equals 3, 21, because 2 and 1 also equals 3, and obviously the 30th. So the topics we'll be covering today in today's live stream is Diogo Jota, who's the Portuguese football player who lost his life in a car accident. We'll be taking a look at President Macron, a breakdown of King Charles and the Order of the Keys, and a chemical that's not very liked or pronounced, should we say. If you did pronounce it, YouTube would not be very happy. So I will just refer to this chemical as adrena. And we'll be taking a look at that, and also a snippet of Sandra Bullock, who kind of exposes where this chemical comes from, how it's part of a ritual, and how that ritual is tied to a certain religion. So as always, we'll do a roll call at the beginning of the show. So if you want to drop down in the chat section where everybody's listening from, and we will get on with the show. As always, if there's any questions that you'd like to ask, then please drop them down in the chat section and I will try to answer them for you. If anybody would like any sort of reading, then please let me know, and I will try and do my best off the top of my head. Now, if you joined us for the last live show, we looked at countries that fell under the year of the pig, which is the enemy sign of the snake this year, which is 2025. An example of this was the plane crash that happened in Pakistan. We were told that there were Britons on it. It was obviously Pakistani. We were also told there were Portuguese on there as well. The reason that that's quite relevant is because the UK, Pakistan and Portugal were all founded under pig energy, which is the enemy sign of 2025, which would make sense why them countries were isolated and picked out for that sole purpose. So if you're also new to the channel here, there's a book available, which is available on Amazon, which is Breaking the Matrix, Numerology and Astrology. I should put that up at the end of the show for you so you can see what it looks like and where to get it from. Also, there's the Numerology Wizard app, which is available on Google. So you can go and download that for yourself. Do a numerology reading for yourself, maybe a couple of friends or even family, and find out what your birthday says about you. So today is the 10th of June 2025. That gives us a 7 and a 9 with the 2025. Pardon me. So the 7 plus the 9 gives us a number total of 16. 16 broken down into numerology is 1 plus the 6 gives us a number 7, which is a number of the genius. So we have a day energy of number 1, which stands for alpha male, aggression, assertiveness, accidents, and also a life path number of today, which is 7. 7 is a number of the genius, the number of the loner and the lone wolf, and is also another day. So any days that kind of fall on 7s, such as 7, 16th, and the 25th, are days that you should not go to the gym and work out. If you're born on the 7th, try and stay away from motorbikes. Yeah, 7s are not good days really for doing certain activities. So whether you're getting married, riding a motorbike, or going to the gym. If you go to the gym, you're most likely going to cause yourself an injury. If you ride a motorbike, you're going to cause yourself an accident. And if you're going to get married on the 7th, you might as well take your divorce solicitor with you, because looking at Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, who got married on the 7th, a year and a half later were divorced. So shout out to you, Dusky, in chat. I have seen you. Thanks for joining us. If anybody else wants to drop down and chat where they're from, and we'll jump straight into the show. So we had the death of the Portuguese football player. This was actually predicted as well in another Simpsons episode, which we will take a quick look at and see what the Simpsons had to say with regards to the prediction of the Portuguese footballer losing his life. I'd seen the Simpsons clip probably a few days ago, but it wasn't while compiling the video for the show that I then came across the video that's in front of you that actually describes that his brother was in the car. I wasn't aware of this, but in the Simpsons prediction, as you'll see, they stated that he had an argument with his brother in the car, and obviously things kind of lined up with regards to the consequences and the outcome of what happened with the accident. Is it really, Dusky? Thank you for that. I'll tell you what, I'm actually going to put your comments up. So I know you said hi, cheers for that. So you say it's Nicola's birthday today. Is it really? Is it Nicola Bully, I'm guessing? That's quite interesting. It'd be interesting to do a numerology reading on Nicola Bully, really, to be honest with you. Without kind of being, I don't want to obviously delve into kind of disrespectful areas as such, but it would just be interesting to see kind of what the date of birth is. If you know it, then by please, all means, then drop it in the chat and I can obviously take a look at it. Otherwise, I will have to go and do some research to find it, because as far as I know, it wasn't kind of freely available on the internet from what I knew. A lot of the information was either kind of buried, I think. The only thing that did raise suspicions with regards to investigating that case with the Nicola Bully was the Facebook page that belonged to her, that was set up in 2019, 2020. But there was also a post on there that had been posted a year before she went missing, which is where she declared that she was actually in a relationship with Paul Ansell, yet she'd been in a relationship for 10 years. So that was a bit puzzling. But yeah, if you know the birthday, then please, by all means, drop it in or take a look at it and see what it says with regards to numerology. It'd be interesting to do one on Paul Ansell, actually. I wonder if he's a number 3. That'd be quite interesting. So anyway, going back to the Portuguese footballer, Diogo Jota, he lost his life on the 5th of June. And we know that 5 is the number of travel. Strangely enough, Virginia Dufresne, who also had a car accident and then later on lost her life, her car accident was actually on a 5 day as well. and her date of birth, I think, also, not a date of birth, sorry, but her age. Her age added up to 5, I believe, as well. I'll have to double check that, but we did cover that in a live, and we also covered her birthday. And I'm sure she lost her life in her enemy year, if I'm mistaken. But obviously, it's on the live. If you want to go and check it out and have a look for yourself, and it's on the channel. The other thing that was shown as well after he lost his life was a few days later, where they brought out football shirts to kind of commemorate him. And on the football shirts was 20 on one and 30 on the other. Now, we know zeros don't carry any energy in numerology, which is why we don't count them. So that would leave us with 2 and a 3, which equals 5. Another thing to add as well is he played for the football team, or he was from Portugal, from what we're told. Portugal was also founded in a pig year, the enemy sign of the snake, 2025, which will also kind of coincide with UK and President Macron's visit, which I will move on to next. But first of all, we'll take a look at the predictions of the Simpsons and see what it can tell us with regards to what they predicted the Portuguese football player's death, sadly. Like I said, it wasn't until it was on the news that we then found out his brother was also in the car. So I'll just wait a sec, and then you should be shown with regards to the Simpsons clip, where it goes into quite full depth of a series that was shown.
The Simpsons predicted the death of Diogo Jota in an episode released in 2011. In an almost forgotten season, Springfield hosts a European team for a friendly match. Among the players is a young and ultra-popular Portuguese striker wearing the number 20 jersey. In the episode, he's called Diogo Jota, but the reference is obvious. Same playing style, same appearance, same red uniform. The whole town becomes a fan of his. Lisa even gives a school presentation about him. Bart wants to look like him, and Homer tries to learn soccer. However, the mood shifts midway through the episode. After a practice, Diogo Jota is seen arguing in a car with his brother, visibly tense. Seconds later, a crash is implied. A dull thud, a still image of a crumpled car. The next scene shows a memorial in front of the stadium with 2 framed photos side by side, and Kent Brockman announces the tragic accident that took the life of the soccer star and his younger brother. The residents of Springfield are shown in tears. At the time, no one noticed the reference, an accident involving Diogo Jota and his brother. Another Simpson.
So there you go, even the Simpsons predicted it with that one. They were also correct and also predicted in a previous live that we've done, which was on Liam Payne, and they also predicted his death and fall from the hotel balcony. That's also in another live as well that's previously on the show, so if you want to go back at any point and go and take a look at these, and then you'll kind of see how they all tie up and link together. So then turning our attention to President Macron. President Macron is born on the 12th of the 12th, 1977, which makes him a snake year. And this year is 2025, the year of the snake. So all this, all this that I'm now about to speak about will kind of make sense, and you'll kind of understand why President Macron has come to the UK rather than vice versa. And you'll also understand why he kind of overshadowed Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer was basically just a bystander, or someone who could have just been a spectator, because it seemed that Macron, when he took the stage, basically just took control of everything and dictated to the UK and to also Keir Starmer what was going to happen and be part of the arrangement and agreement. So that will make sense as to why he's come to the UK, because you've got President Macron, who's born 1977, who's born in a snake year, who's then come to a pig country. As England was founded in 927 AD, which is a pig year, and the United Kingdom was founded in 1717, I believe. Grand Master Lodge of Freemasonry was also founded in 1707, and that's also a pig year. So England founded, United Kingdom founded, and the Grand Master Lodge of the UK was also founded all in peak years, which would explain a lot of why the UK is absolutely falling apart this year. And you're seeing the total demise of the UK and its country by the day. A also stands for asylum seekers. So that's another word to sort of coincide with the letter A. So although there's a lot of A's that are associated with people born on 1 days, such as aggression, alpha male, assertiveness, when it comes to news events or things being in the public eye, you'll tend to find that on that day there'll be things that are surrounded by the letter that's associated to that number of the day, if that kind of makes sense. So an example would be, say, the 5th. Okay, so if it was a 5th, it would be the letter E. So you might find there might be something to do with the environment, or another example surrounding the letter E. So that's kind of how it works. So just to shed some more light on President Macron, I don't know if many people know about President Macron, and basically, if you'd like to call her his wife, Bridget or Brian, I like to call her Brian rather than Bridget. Only the sole reason being is no pictures of her as a female from the age of 11, I believe. And she actually met President Macron while he was at school, because she used to be his teacher. So no grooming going on there whatsoever. But yeah, this is just kind of how these people work. Quite sick individuals, really, to be honest with you. But then when you find out about the chemical adrena, as I go on and disclose to you how that's obtained, and coincides with a chemical. So turning attention back to President Macron. So taking his date of birth, he's born on the 12th. 1 and 2 equals 3, the number of the criminal. His life path number comes to 15, and 1 and 5 equals 6, the number of home and family. Which is why you will tend to find President Macron doesn't leave France very much, or do foreign visits. You normally tend to find people will go to him, and that's because he's born under the energy of home and family, and he likes to be at home. We took a look at Keir Starmer in a previous live as well. He was born under the energy of 11, which is the leader, even though you wouldn't believe it. They're supposed to be the spokesperson as well, number 11s. Examples of this are Joe Rogan, Barack Obama. So people who are in the public figure and domain who speak normally tend to be 11s, such as King Charles and Prince William, who are both 11s. So also just touching on the order of the keys that happened with regards to King Charles. It's a ritual that goes back to medieval times. It goes back that far. They don't actually know when it started. But you can tell how important it is to these people because it's never been cancelled once. And only on one occasion was it delayed by 1 day. So that just shows you the importance of these rituals, and that the fact that the royal family do carry out rituals. So yeah, with regards to President Macron, there was quite a bit of controversy with regards to his wife Bridget. I believe Candace Owens covered this quite a bit and got a bit of backlash, but strangely enough, no one filed any legal cases against them. In fact, all they did is just ask Candace to stop talking about it. So moving on to the chemical that you see in front of you, before you, I'll just call it adrena, just to save myself the hassle with YouTube. It goes back to a long time ago and is a secret ritual. Another secret ritual I'll tell you about, which is what they tell you at school is to do with the Second World War, when in fact it's nothing to do with the Second World War. And just to keep myself safe on this one as well, I'll spell it out for you. It says HOLOCAUST, I believe. And that's actually a ritual to do with Judaism, which is a ritual of burning things. So I will let you kind of take that information and then apply it to the Second World War, and you will kind of understand how that word is actually in the Jewish Bible, written hundreds of thousands of years ago, when the Second World War only happened in obviously 1939 to 1945. So how was it possible that it was in a Bible hundreds of years ago, but the terminology only came about less than 100 years ago? So this is how they kind of disguise rituals, by telling you that there's stories in history of certain things that happened. And in that way, they can obviously talk about it, carry on the rituals, and nobody's none the wiser. So this is actually a chemical that comes from the pituitary gland, which is also known as the pine cone that sits in the brain, otherwise known as your third eye. The hidden secret of the ritual behind this, some of you might be familiar with, but you won't understand that it's actually a ritual, and you won't understand why it's done until I tell you. But the reason and the excuse that they give you is because it's for hygiene purposes and cleanliness. Now, strangely enough, when I was a youngster and a kid, one of my best friends, he actually had this process done, or procedure, should I say. And I never kind of understood why, because I didn't know anybody other, like any of my other male friends that had the same kind of procedure. And then it wasn't until later on in life I understood it was one of the same people that belonged to that same sort of culture, religion, and fractions, should I say. So it then kind of made sense. So yeah, that was kind of my first encounter of this procedure. And then it wasn't until obviously later on in life, when you learn further things, that you actually realise it's not a procedure for cleanliness, but it's a procedure to extract chemicals. So like I said, this comes from the pituitary gland. It's actually released before you pass. Otherwise, a little bit that you could probably refer to as DMT, which is another chemical that's released in the brain before you pass, which is where they say the saying comes from that your life flashes before your eyes. Now, this chemical that you see in front of you has been very popular in Hollywood. You've probably heard about it. If you watch any other kind of channels along the same sort of topics as this, then you definitely would have heard about this, and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. You can actually buy this stuff off the internet, believe it or not. You can actually, from what I know, I think you can purchase it from China.
Let's talk about this.
But I will show you the video clip in front of you with regards to Sandra Bullock, sorry. And she talks about where this chemical
facial that you're obsessed with. That how many did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, and, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these. Some of you, I think many of you know it. And it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen, and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes. The
What are you pushing into the skin, Sarah? Sandra? Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby. Okay, let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with.
So, as you heard Sandra Bullock speak about where this piece of skin comes from, and it comes from a procedure otherwise known as circumcision. Now, the word circumcision comes from the fact that this ritual is actually carried out originally in a circle of men who have the procedure done all at the same time. So like the picture you're showing in front of you, this is how they kind of be arranged, and then they'd have the procedure done at a very young age. Like I say, most would be babies, even boys. So yeah, it's a procedure basically of a ritual. So they tell you that the procedure is obviously for cleanliness, but it's obviously not. It's a ritual to obtain the skin from a young baby's foreskin, so to speak. From there, they extract the chemical from it, which is adrena. So it just goes to show you how quite sick these people can be. And this procedure comes from only kind of one religious background that all these people in Hollywood belong to, which would explain why Ellen DeGeneres' backstage and stage setup is absolutely covered in the colour white and blue, because it represents the colours of their flag. It's also set up with regards to the stripes and the pine trees as Jeffrey Epstein's island. If you look at it, it's even got like some of the depictions of the building and the actual back wall and background. So next time you get a chance to see the Ellen DeGeneres show, just pay close attention to the background and the colours. And as for Ellen DeGeneres, she is believed to be either the granddaughter or an illegitimate child of the Rockefellers. If you go back and take a picture, look at the picture of David Rockefeller from a long time ago. It's a black and white picture, I believe. If you put Ellen DeGeneres next to it, you seriously couldn't tell the difference. Ellen DeGeneres has even got the same style of haircut, which is even more scary. So, yeah, with regards to the procedure and the ritual, it's a ritual that's held in a circle, which is where the word circumcision comes from, as in circle. And then the procedure is actually done not for cleanliness or hygiene, but so that they can extract this chemical, adrenal. So that kind of brings us towards the end of the live stream and the show. I hope you've enjoyed the content. Make sure to smash the like button. If you haven't already, smash subscribe as well. Share the video with other people and your friends. And if you're interested in numerology astrology and you'd like to learn more, like I said, Breaking the Matrix Numerology Astrology, it's out now and available on Amazon. If you want to go and grab yourself a copy, we cover absolutely everything that we cover in the channel, plus more. And if you'd like to try for yourself, you're welcome to go and download the new app, which is the Numerology Wizard app, which is available on Google. And go and check it out for yourself and give it a try. You might surprise yourself with what you find out about yourself, your friends and your family. It's quite a handy tool to use as well with regards to planning forward with your life, such as obviously when to hold events, or new members of the family come in, or new relationships. So it's very well worth taking a look at, and extremely educational for what it's worth. And on that note, I'm going to wrap up the show. But as always, you've been absolutely awesome. I've been Mr. Freemason. Take care of yourselves. Until the next live stream, I'm out of here.